It is the Victoria Washington Experience each and every week, bringing you an awesome show. And you know, this week, how I'm doing it, Mr. June Archer. What's going on?
What's going on, sis? Thank you so much for having me.
No problem.
I'm
Motivational
excited.
speaker. He's here. He has 3 books out. He's going to talk to us about relationship, children, and just getting you on the right track for your life. How awesome is that?
No, it's awesome. Listen, I woke up this morning, I'm ready to go. Just having the opportunity to talk to you before we got on air just amazes me on how there are so many like-minded people, and this is just the opportunity to have a proverbial shift in your lap and know that you're walking in favor because like-minded people are, coming into your circle, and it's just a beautiful thing. So I'm
Look
excited.
at that. How he start off just dropping it to us like that. I don't know if we was ready for that.
We might as well just dive in.
Right, that's
dive in.
So that's a warm-up already.
Let's go for it.
I like that. So how are you today, though?
I woke up this morning, Victoria, and as always, that is a perspective before I walk out the door. Just waking up knowing that you have an opportunity to do anything in life because the Most High woke you up this morning. Because there's someone who didn't wake up this morning. There are people who, they might have woken up but they don't have all their faculties.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just appreciative of the opportunity to wake up and just be able to come here to have the opportunity to speak to you. One, to meet you. Secondly, to be able to just share our stories and share our experiences with people who are listening.
That's huge, and I say that because you sound like you're so grateful and you're humble about your life experiences and that you get a chance to wake up. That's a beautiful thing in itself. How do you stay so motivated?
I stay motivated because the people around me hold me accountable to do what it is that I do. And the only way you're going to find magic is to surround yourself with like-minded people.
Right.
Surround yourself with people who are upwardly mobile,
Mm-hmm.
people who are doing great things. So if you want to be doing great things, you have to surround yourself with greatness. You have to be in the environment or at least create the environment. And for me, I have so many great people. One, just my family,
Mm-hmm.
Starting there. So when you wake up in the morning, you know that anything that you have the opportunity to do that will benefit not just you and your family, why wouldn't you do? Why wouldn't you just be grateful to get up? And then, for the people who are around me, I don't even say that I have a team. I have a family of people who we're all helping each other build our dreams.
Mm-hmm.
And when you say to yourself, wow, like if I'm successful, they're successful. If they're successful, I'm successful. But while we're doing this, everyone, not that you're relying on each other to be successful, but
Right.
we're relying on you to do what you do because we're proud of what you do. We rely on what you do because you're great at what you do. We rely on you because you can take it to the next level. When you take it to the next level, it inspires us to get to the next level. And we're all at the next level together. We're continuing, whether someone's above you or someone's below you, you woke up and you had the opportunity to do something to inspire the people around you.
Mm-hmm.
Why won't you just get excited?
Well, you speak with a lot of people, and a lot of people come to you with their different issues or what's going on. It's so many things to take in just as one person and trying to motivate the person to get on the right path. That's a hard thing in itself. That's a big challenge. What do you say?
It's a challenge, but once you are transparent,
Mm-hmm.
once you're honest, once you're just the person to say, listen, I've been through the same thing. Well, I know people who've been through the same thing. I don't know what you've been through, but this is
Right.
what I've been through. And when you can share from that perspective, people could say, wow, like he was transparent enough to share that with me. It's not so bad. And for me, just this past week, I was speaking at 2 insurance companies and shared some of my story
Mm-hmm.
with them. And one lady came up to me and she said, I'm so glad that you shared that story. I was going through the same thing. And now I know I'll be all right. Like I thought I would be all right, but I know I'll be all right because you came and you told us something that was intimate to you that for me it was life-changing.
Mm-hmm.
And now I know that I could go on. I know I could continue to do things because of what you said. You woke up this morning. Make it happen.
Indeed. Now, I brought you here today because I want to talk about relationships.
Yes.
We have Valentine's Day coming up, so that's the day. That's the love day.
That's a love day.
Everybody want to show what they are about, what
Yes.
they are about, whether you're male or female.
Yeah.
So, in the beginning, what are some ways when you first starting out in a relationship? What are some ways to romance your significant other?
I think the most important thing is to be yourself,
Mhm.
right? And we all have gotten into the situation where you send your representative,
Yeah.
right? You flowers, you hold hands, you open the door,
Yeah.
put on the jacket, take off the jacket. But what we don't realize is that representative at some point has to either become life
Mm-hmm.
or become a facade. So at that point, like I say to people, love is a lifestyle. So
Right.
when love becomes a lifestyle, that's what you live every day. It's not something that's in style. Style comes and goes. It's in and out.
That's true. I like
Day
the
to
way
day,
you
gone
put that.
Gone tomorrow, right? So for me, I have a third book that I'm trying to finish now called After You Say Yes.
Mm.
And that's for couples where, like you said, with Valentine's Day coming up, think about whether you've been in a relationship for 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, 15, 20 years.
Right.
Let's get back to the basics of what really makes that marriage, that partnership work.
So in the beginning, you do all these things, and as you mentioned, you have a representative. But sometimes, do you think that gets boring if you continue? If your wife or your husband, whomever that you bring flowers to, some women would get bored with that. What do you say?
Most certainly. So you have to figure out, okay, where does the magic lie? Does it, okay, bringing flowers home might be great, but how about send some flowers to the job?
Right. Okay.
Right. And
So it's about switching up your approach.
It's switching it up, but remaining consistent on the appreciation,
Okay.
right? It could be you cook dinner for your spouse,
Right.
man or woman. You could. That's what they love. But now, what is it that is going to take you to the next level in terms of, okay, well, how about we have dinner on the patio, or how about I bring the kids to the babysitter, and then we do something different. Maybe we have dinner in the bedroom. Maybe we have dinner, in the basement and put down a sheet and just kind of do something different, right? Or maybe we go out to dinner, right? But it depends on your finances. And in these days and times, people are still trying to, pay their mortgage, pay their rent, life things that get in the way. So you could do something simple. Peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
I don't know about that.
Peanut butter and jelly. But those are the
Oh, man.
basics. But
Yeah,
just
that's true.
really solid, just the appreciation. Maybe it's just something that your spouse likes that you say, you know what? Oh, you like a shrimp po' boy? No problem. We're gonna do that in a nice glass of wine,
Right,
or
right.
I'm gonna make some lemonade. Something that's different is, you know what? That was kind of sweet, kind of quirky. Maybe it's even corny, but it's something cute about it.
Now, what would you say that's more important, stability or intimacy?
I think they both play a major part, right?
Uh-huh.
The stability is it is what it is, but the intimacy can mean a lot of things. It could mean sitting on the couch and you both under the blanket watching television, right? You could that's just intimacy. It doesn't always equate to sex. And guys, because of pride and ego, we think that's what it is, right? It could be, and I'm guilty of it. You rubbing your wife's feet while you're watching Scandal, right? You just watching TV,
I
just
like
chilling.
that. I like that. You rub my feet.
But and sometimes it's, well, how come you're not doing it tonight? I don't want to do it tonight. I'm gonna surprise you. Why? Oh, you don't want to do it tonight. Well, now tell me how many other men are rubbing their wife's feet.
Right.
But it's, you know what? Let me do it because I like doing it.
Right.
Right. Intimacy maybe just holding hands, just doing absolutely nothing, or just people watching. Let's go out in front of the wherever, town green, and just sit there and just people watch. Just watch people.
Now let me get personal here because I need to know how exactly did you pull your wife in?
Oh man,
How
listen.
did you put on the hook and catch her?
I could tell you this. Where is the one place they tell you never to find your wife?
The club.
In the club. And that's where I found my wife. But it was magic.
Really?
It was magic. One day, I was in a recording group, room service, and off tour we came to New York City, and we were invited on a bus ride. I mean, on a boat ride. So I get to the boat ride, and I'm like, I'm not really feeling the vibe of what's going on. The people are kind of crazy. I don't think I want to do it. And we called a friend, and the friend was like, there's this party going on at the Metronome, or there's something coming on uptown. Like, you come uptown, and we could do something in Harlem. I'm like, well, if I go to Harlem, then I'm going back to Hartford, where my people are. I'll just go up there and party. So we took a chance, and we went to Metronome. So at Metronome, or I should say on the other side of the city, my wife was in bed at home chilling, and one of her good friends calls up and says, let's go to the club. And she's like, I'm not going to the club. Like, I'm in bed. Like, she's like, no, I'm coming over right now. Get dressed. She's like, don't bother coming over. I'm not getting dressed. I'm at home watching television.
Right.
She goes over, picks her up, picks something out for her to wear, pick her up. They go to the city there at the Metronome. So it just happens that her friend happened to be somebody I knew that went to UMass, and I was, going to Central Connecticut State University at the time. And I happened to just see her in the club. I'm like, oh, that's KP. Let me just go over there and say what's up. But next to her was my now wife, and I kind of stood up next to her like, I'm about to surprise your friend. She's like, excuse me, can you get away from me? Can you back up off me? I'm like, no, hold on, I'm trying to surprise you.
That's
Look,
how we be.
And she's like, no, really, dude, like really, like you're in my space, and I'm like, KB, how you doing? Like, I just want to surprise you with your girls.
Right.
The girls are wild now. So she introduces us,
Mm-hmm.
and that's where the magic happened, Victoria. Like, we sat there the whole time for the rest of the night speaking. What we were talking about, I have no idea. We were just talking about life, love, and just found out she was West Indian, I'm West Indian, how we were brought up. And it was at that moment I knew, and I tell her to this day, I'm like, I knew that we were going to get married from that moment. I knew, and if we didn't get married, I know that you and I would have kids just based on things that you believed in. I knew that we would have children together. I knew if it would be anybody, it would be you. At that point, that night, I knew it was going to happen.
It is the Victoria Washington Experience. I'm sitting here speaking with June Archer, and he has 3 books out, and he just told us a lovely story.
But 1 book out, 2 on the way.
2 on the way. 1
on the
book
way.
out, 2 on the way. So
Yes.
you got a children's book, a relationships book, and just a for everybody book.
For everybody book.
I love that. Now, tell us some ways how we can find you real quick.
Well, you can find me on every social media under June Archer. I'm at June Archer on everything from Pinterest, YouTube, Facebook, MySpace. No, I'm joking. Twitter and Instagram, and every day I post something, motivational, inspirational for those who want to get in the environment of just waking up and appreciating life and going and getting it.
Okay, sounds good. Now, we were speaking about your wife. Now, it sounds like a happily ever after. What happened later? You guys are married?
We are married, 2 kids and a dog.
How long?
Actually, 8 years this
8
July.
years.
8 years. And
So
on the
there-
team, you have no choice but to want to be successful. Right?
I like the way you put that as we were talking off air. Now, a huge thing for me in relationships is communication.
Yes.
And I always say you have to be able to communicate with someone before you can trust them. Because how can I trust you? I don't even know you.
Right. I think that's key. Communication is definitely key. I'm not the best communicator when it comes to that, but a key piece to me for couples and those who are looking to be a spouse or even just be a friend, I think it's understanding the way that your partner communicates.
Right.
Right? Because you could say something and I interpret it totally different. But once I understand how you think, what your thought process is, that's where we gain a better understanding. That's where when you say I love someone, to love someone is to have a deeper understanding of that individual.
Sometimes it's hard. Ooh.
It's hard, but it's different when you say, oh, I'm gonna go out to the club and do this, that, and third, blah 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 blah. All right. And your spouse takes it as, oh, you just want to go to the club. No, like for whatever it is that you do, whether you're a radio personality or whether you're a DJ or you're a speaker, just really just trying to go out and kind of see what's going on with the world, so you kind of figured out to kind of educate people on certain things. Is you have to go out to network, right? You have to go out and kind of be amongst people that you can rub elbows with to get to the next level or make lateral moves, whatever it may be. But if your spouse or your partner doesn't understand how you're communicating on whatever, it could be. Let's break it down. You come home from a long day at work. When you left, the dishes were in the sink. Right? So you both are
Working hard.
working hard.
Right.
How come you didn't wash the dishes? Come home and dishes in the sink. Can't believe you left the dishes in the sink. Meanwhile, I'm like, well, you saw the dishes in the sink too. Like, why'd you leave the dishes in the sink? So now let's rewind that. Oh, honey, you didn't get to do the dishes? Do you need me to do them? Because you left them this morning. I left them too. I was rushing. Oh, no, you know what? No problem. I was here. I didn't get to do them. I'll knock them out because you just got home, and let me go ahead and do that and get some dinner.
So communication and wording.
And word. It's
very
not what
important.
you say, it's how you say it.
Right.
Right? Because if you both are working hard, if you're home and you're watching the kids, whatever the case may be, everyone has their thing that they're doing that they feel like they're busy. So when
Right.
you come home, all right, let's get rid of all of that and let's kind of figure it out. But let's do it you don't have to be sympathetic. Like, you don't have to like tiptoe around it or not try to hurt anybody's feelings. Say what you want to say, but make sure that I can't scream at you because you might be a little more sensitive.
Right.
So it's learning how you like to be communicated to, like how you like to be spoken to. What are the buzzwords that? Oh, so you just think you could just like, all right, let's
Talk
take
to me any kind of way. And
Let's right. So sometimes we play a lot of defense, right? And we
Right.
should play offense. And I tell people, put yourself in a situation. If someone calls you and they're going off, Victoria, I gotta talk to you. Blah, 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 blah. June, 1 second. I'm on the other line. Let me call you right back. I'm gonna call you right back. You might not even be on the phone.
Mm-hmm.
But now you put yourself in a situation where now you're playing offense, you're not playing defense. Because now if you play defense, hold on, how you calling me when you got an attitude? Oh, you got an attitude? You calling me? So now...
I think I played the offense very well.
I played the offense very well.
Yeah, I think I played it very well.
But that's when you win, because now you change the shift. You shift the momentum.
Mm-hmm.
And then by the time I call you back, oh, Victoria, what's going on? You know what? You probably was calling me about the dishes. I did those dishes, knocked that out. I was working on that. So now I've diffused the situation a little bit. And now you really don't have no...
You have no reason to scream at me now.
I can't beef now or something. And he got dinner ready? So let's kind of put yourself in that situation, kind of flip things, play more offense, be sympathetic. And I'm human. Like, there's times where I don't communicate as well as sometimes, like, I didn't remember something.
Right.
You know, and it's a work in progress. It is a work in progress. Some things in life is like, I think we've had that conversation one too many times.
At what point do you think it is time to say, mine is yours is mine? Even before you get to the marriage stage, what point should I start saying that, or even start talking about my finances with you?
I think if you feel like there's longevity in this, if there's some mileage in what we're doing,
Okay.
then it's time to have that conversation. If you don't feel there's any mileage, that night I knew she and I are gonna be together.
Okay.
Like, we're at least gonna have kids.
Mm.
I knew it then. But if you don't see that, even if it's not at that point, if it's 5, and it took us years to get to that point. Like, that was before, it might have been around 2001, right? We got married in 07, right? But you go through things where young men being young, you go through things and sometimes you try to, all right, is this the right thing to do? Like, I went through that, like, oh man, like, I do love her, like, oh man, gotta, all right, time to settle down, try to buckle down. And you gotta try to work it out and try to figure each other out until you get to that point where you're like, okay, we got some momentum. Like, the Heat didn't win the championship the first year around because they had to figure out, all right, let me figure out how you like your alley-oop thrown, right?
Right.
Cool, like, everyone's the team, the leader on their team. Everybody's
How you
a superstar.
like your alley-hoop thrown.
Right? So somebody might be, LeBron. Somebody might be Dwayne Wade. Somebody might be Bosh. But until we learn to play the game together, where I don't have to, it ain't got to be all about me.
Right.
Or listen, I need you to carry the weight. Like, you got the momentum. You carry the weight.
It is the Victoria Washington Experience, sitting here getting educated about relationships with June Archer. He is a motivational speaker. Life coach also, right? Can I give you that title?
Also. Yeah,
life coach.
Yes, most certainly. I do life coaching.
Author.
Yes.
You're doing a lot. You got a lot going on.
And I got so much more to go, Victoria. There's so much, and there's so much greatness in us. I just get excited to know that when you step out the door, when you do things like write books and you're reaching people, like, you do it at home, but you realize it affects so many more people. And when you go and talk to people, as you were discussing, you talk to people, you feel like you pour into them,
right? And
there's a reaction. That's beautiful. Money can't buy that feeling that you're helping someone and you're inspiring someone. So for me, this journey has been an awesome one, because up to this point, I was in the music business for well over 15 plus years.
Yes.
And enjoyed it and had the opportunity to run a label. I had the opportunity to manage.
How in the world did you transition from that music world to becoming a motivational speaker, an author, and all the other titles that you have listed?
Well, the transition was easy because I've always been someone who would like to speak to people. I love dialogue. I think we don't have enough dialogue in life. I think a lot of things can be solved through dialogue. But the transition for me was, okay, really not, and I'll say this, because I said this on the way over here. I want to get back to music in a way that I don't want us to change the way music sounds,
right?
But I want to get that feeling of what music used to make us feel like back in the day. So when I lost the feeling of music, I said, I can't, and this was after working on Get Rich or Die Trying, working with 50s, working with Beyonce for Pink Panther, working with Jay-Z, American Gangster, Mario, Marion, like having success with that, and then just seeing the music that was coming after that, I said to myself, music is changing. I don't feel the same. Like, how we're creating the music is not the same. Like, we're not even in the studio most times with each other making this music. And I said to myself, let me go try something different. And with that, a partner, O. Williams and Stevie Glass, helped me bring forth this vision of giving producers, independent producers and independent artists a platform. So we created shows like the docu-tape Patron Fuse. We created, O. Williams created Behind the Unsigned, and those shows did well on Fuse because I felt like we got to kind of give them a voice, but we got to kind of get back to the love of this thing called music. I love music, Victoria. I love it. Like it's something about it. Like it's the soundtrack to our life, right? And when you feel like the soundtrack's just not matching up with what you're seeing on a day-to-day, like there's a problem with that. So making that transition to say, you know what, I want to pour back into people so they feel good about life. Right. And it wasn't until we lost Chris Lighty and Shakir Stewart, who were mentors of mine, and I realized, listen, we're in a dark place. People get into a dark place all the time, right. But we need more I love yous. We need more, hey, give me a hug. We need more, I'm proud of you.
Yeah.
And I felt like writing a word of encouragement, a word of inspiration or motivation every day on Facebook for a year. It took me a year of doing that every morning. I said, listen, if I can't change the 5,000 people around me, I'm gonna get off these social media platforms. And as I started to pour into people, people would say, you know what, you mind if I share this with my son, my daughter? No, not at all. You mind if I put this up at work? No, I want you to.
Right.
June, you should write a book. I'm not an author. I just want to change people's perspective. June, you should write a book. This is some good stuff. You should put this in a book form. I don't want to write a book. I want to change people's perspectives. And it was after the fourth or fifth person said it, I said to myself, I got to become obedient. And I feel like a lot of us aren't obedient to what our calling may be or what our skill set is.
That's important.
And as I said to myself, okay, let me be obedient. And I put it in a book form and put it out, and I realized, wow, this has changed people's lives. But it wasn't until, and to get back to the communication part, my wife and I, at 5 years, we went to counseling. People were like, it's 5 years, get a tune-up. And we did that, and It was there that the counselor would always say to me, so how you doing? How was your week? How was your day? Oh, today was a good day. Like, I woke up this morning.
Right.
No different than what I told you when we greet each other.
Exactly.
Because that's just me. That when I wake up, it's and it wasn't until the fourth or fifth time she looked at my wife. She's like, is he always like this? She was like, yeah, he that's him. Like, that's been him since the day I met him. But that's part of the problem. I don't know if something if something goes wrong, like, will that change? And she goes, so today, was today a good day to you? And at that point in time, I knew before it came out my mouth that it was going to be the title of my book. And I said, yes, every day can be a good day.
Yeah,
and she looked at me like, okay.
I get that feeling also because when people ask me, hey, Victoria, how are you doing? Outstanding. If I was in the bed, my head would pop off. And people are like, what? What are you talking about? Especially in the office. People look at me crazy like, she's going to forever say that. Now they complete my sentences.
Because we got so far away from that feeling, right?
Yeah.
Whether it's because of the music or just life, right? We've gotten so far away from, hey, Victoria, how you doing today? Let me guess, you're doing great. But not being surprised, like, I know you're great. Like, I saw you woke up this morning, so I know you're doing good. Because somebody somewhere, Victoria.
I changed it. I switched it up on them, though.
How you do it? How you switch
Outstanding.
it up? Outstanding.
They just like, I've never heard that. You're doing what?
Outstanding. Let me look that word up. There's got to be something in there. It's got to be something in that word. Why she said
I stole it from my dad. I never catch him being down. Never.
I love him already.
Never. So it was like, I love his spirit, and I'm like his twin. And I adopted that saying. I've been saying it for years, but when you say it, you start to feel that. You start to
feel good.
You start to feel it. I'm like, you know what? It's not a bad day. Everything is great. What's not great, I'll make it better. It's fine.
Because when you wake up, you could change that.
Exactly. But and what I didn't change, what didn't happen yesterday, I'm gonna change it today.
Most certainly.
Just like that.
But you have to have the opportunity to wake up, and once you have that opportunity, bad becomes outstanding.
What's your favorite place that you feel like you've touched people? As in state, what event that you have done, and you're like, this event here even helped me change, or do you get that from all your events?
I will say all of them have been interesting. I think the last one, in New York that we did with Eric Thomas, Rob Hill Sr., and Alex L., that one was special because it was the first time I got to interview all of them and talk.
Mm.
And it was me just pulling stuff out of him. And I knew E.T. the longest, and I know him the most. That when we were having the conversation, it was just like dialogue between he and I. And at some point, like people, I remember Lala was in the audience.
Lala Anthony?
Yeah, shout out to Lala. And he said, hold on a second, June. He said, I don't know if you guys understand. Like, June knows the answer to these questions, but I'm glad he's asking me because I'm able to share these things with you.
Mm-hmm.
And I said to myself, like, that just felt so good because we spent that much time together, that him pouring into me and me sharing my ideas and thoughts and dreams with him, for him to validate, how I'm feeling, to say, no, you're good. Like, you on the right path. Keep going.
Right.
Just felt good. But other than that situation, it was on the tour with Trent Shelton in Toronto, where it was the first time I became super transparent. And I talked about, me and my wife. I talked about just, having a baby that was premature 3 months early.
Mm-hmm.
And it was after that particular talk that 3 women individually came up to me and said, I lost a child. I'm so glad you shared that story with me. It let me know that I'm going to be all right.
Right.
And one lady came up to me and said, my husband left me on bed rest with a baby. And to know that your wife went through the same thing, and you felt the responsibility to hang in there. Like, mm-hmm. I don't want to give you credit, but I understood if you did leave, but you didn't. But my husband left, so I understand. I appreciate you, and I appreciate you teaching these men about your experience.
Right.
And then one lady said, I really appreciated what you said. Like, I have the lowest self-esteem that you could think of, but you just let me know that I could do better, I could be better, I could feel better.
Do you think getting married has changed you?
Making that commitment, and I tell people, I'll tell them recently, like, we buy a lot of stuff, we get a lot of apps, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when you buy these apps, you kind of scroll through all the small print, right, and you hit accept, right? Hit right. Send, enter. But when you're married, sometimes you got to understand, like, that small print reads like this: for better or for worse, mm-hmm. sickness and health, yeah. death do us part. Yeah. And you're committed, like, you hold yourself accountable. Mm-hmm. So for me, making that commitment, being accountable, you feel like you're a part of a team. And then when you have kids and that comes into play, like, it's a different feeling, because now your why elevates to the next level. And you're like, I want to see my kids get to the next level like my parents right. wanted me to get to the next level. And your partner get to the next level, and your partner pours into you, and you pour in your partner. And you can say at the end of the day, when you hopefully retired with a little bit of change in your pocket, you say, we did good.
June Archer, right here on the Victoria Washington Experience, motivational speaker. He's an author. He has 1 book, 2 books on the way. Yes, Every Day Can Be a Good Day is the book that's out right now, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And your next 2 books, can we give those titles?
Yes. The second one is a children's book called Yes You Can.
Children's book, that's awesome.
Going to inspire kids. It's going to be half coloring book. Mm-hmm. And then the third installment is After You Say Yes.
That's the relationship book. And I'm sure you guys have learned some things today about relationships. I think I could take some stuff and know how to transition my mind while I'm in my relationship.
I hope so. And I think the most important, we talked about communication. We talked about being transparent, talking about learning how to communicate with each other. But I think the most important part, Victoria, is just to love like it's a lifestyle. Love is a lifestyle.
Love is a lifestyle. Please take that information with you, because I'm taking it with me. It's a beautiful feeling, beautiful thing. June Archer, please tell us where we can find you before we get out of here.
Yes, you can follow me at June Archer, JUNEARCHER, on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. And you can follow my like page on Facebook, Yes Every Day Can Be a Good Day, and Pinterest at June Archer. And the website is IamJuneArcher.com. IamJuneArcher.com. And check out my girl Victoria. She's doing some amazing things. I'm inspired. I get inspired too by people. Don't get it twisted.
I like that.
I get inspired too, and mm-hmm. this just lets me know that I feel like I'm headed in the right direction. I appreciate us coming together today, and the energy is amazing. I wish people would have heard the conversation we had off air. That was an interview in itself. But guess what? We filmed it so they could see this.
Yeah.
They're gonna see. The takeouts. We're gonna hook it up.
I like that. I like that. It is the Victoria Washington Experience. To find out more information about June Archer, you can also follow June Archer on his Twitter, Instagram. Go to his website. And if you didn't catch any of the information, you can log on to my website at victoriawashington.com, and also follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook /TheVickie. That's TheVickii. 3 I's on the end. The Victoria Washington Experience with June Archer. See ya.